Yeah.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
My intro.
Are we live or not? I can just pepper in my mouth. Speaking, then I'm gonna bring it in. I should just choose this up.
Hey there, hey everybody. Is there a doctor in the house? Why, yes, there is. I am she is me is her. Me, she, her is in the building. And I just want to thank you for coming on in. I want to thank you for tuning on in to yet another show of Polos and Pearls with yours truly.
Is there a doctor in the house? Yeah. Deep in the heart of Chicago, she's on the radio. Yeah. She is the one and only Dr. B. Dr. B. Dr.
Hey there, hey everybody. How you doing? Is there a doctor in the house? Why, yes, there is. I am she is me is her. Me, she, her is in the building. How you doing today? I thank you for coming on in. I thank you for tuning in to yet another show with yours truly, Dr. B, on Polos and Pearls. And by popular demand, because y'all was tearing my DMs up.
Wait a minute.
Honey, listen, you popular.
Come on, what?
It's the voice.
Tell me what that.
It's the voice. Y'all,
Tell me
my
these
friend,
DMs.
my boy, the entrepreneur, the man on the job with the longevity, Mr. Willie. How you
go.
doing?
How you doing, Dr. B? How you feeling?
I'm
like,
doing good
say
today.
that one more time.
Mr.
Willie. Oh, wow.
Oh,
Man. Don't get started, Dr. B. This is a gospel show.
it's
Wait
a
a minute.
gospel show. That's right, with yours truly. How's everything going?
Oh man, been busy as all heck. Some ups and downs this week, last week, but you know, still in there, coasting steady. I can't complain.
But guess what? If you complain, it won't do any good.
No.
Well, we got a powerful, packed show for you all this evening. And it's something that's really serious because I've seen it up close and personal, and it kind of like threw me. And I wanted to talk about it today, and I wanted to get some input from you guys because this thing right here, it sat a little differently with me, even though I've dealt with it and I've dealt with it, you know, through family and through work and through church, you know, some churches that I've worked at. So we're going to get into it. And what I want to talk about today is it hits home, y'all. Mental illness. We want to talk about mental illness. Now, what brought this on? I actually seen before I get started, I want to wish my best friend in the whole widest world, my favorite cousin in the whole widest world, Sonia Caprice Donaldson, a very happy. The whole world know, Cappy, today is your birthday. Happy birthday, baby girl. Because I love you so much, and ain't nothing you can do about it except extend your hand and receive some more, because I got a whole lot more. So back to the subject, we're going to talk about this mental illness. And I wanted to do a little research on it. I seen a video, and in this video, it was in Florida. It showed a young man who suffered with mental illness his entire life. And with this video, this young man will always lash out at his family, more so his mother. Now, the woman that brought you into this world, the woman who cared for you, the woman who nurtured you, you lash out at this woman so much so that you kill her.
Oh, wow.
A week or so before that, prior to that, he almost beat his father to death.
Gee, what?
But on this particular video, in 2021, he beat his mother to death. And it was in her home where he resided, but the mother was always protecting him and, you know, keeping the other siblings away from him because they knew that he was crazy or cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, as I would say. And they did not want him around her. And one of his siblings, his sister, told his mother that he was going to be the death of her. Well, as fate would have it, he beat his mother to death, and he seriously beat her to death. Now, they were all calling the entire weekend. No one had heard from her from Friday up until the present time where they did the video. And they were knocking on the door. They were trying to use keys to get in. All this is going on, and he's hearing all of this, but he would never let anyone in. So finally, when they get in and they open the door, they see him standing there. He's looking at them like, you looking at me like, what you want?
Like nothing happened.
Right. And I'm looking at the video like, dude, get your life. You just slaughtered your mother. How could you do that? Well, they said that he was dealing with mental illness and that he had been dealing with it since he was young. And I want to know, you know, as a parent, how do you deal with mental illness? Now, depression, suicide, you know, all those type of things, you know, those are in the same frame, but different.
Yes.
Mental illness will cause you to do a whole lot of other things. So when I did some research, it was kind of hard to, you know, pinpoint an exact comprehensive percentage rate for mental illness right here in Chicago. However, 16.8% of adults in Chicago, 16.8% of adults in Chicago are reported to be diagnosed as depressed. And that was from 2021, the same time that this young man slaughtered his mother. What did they have to do with him? They had to literally keep him away from the other siblings so that they wouldn't kill him. They had to bring the car up to the house to put him in the car so that they wouldn't get him, because they were going to get him. You had even a little 6 to 7 year old little girl ready to get him. That's mental illness. And he was sitting there stone faced like he didn't do anything. So my thing is how far is too far to let mental illness go? What say you?
This is a deep story.
It's loaded, isn't it?
I just got briefed on the story right here live with you. So my question would be, what was his background? I know you say he suffered this when he was little. Was he in the military? Did this add to this?
No.
Was he a runaway? Anything like that?
No.
Okay, so he was just born nutty.
Yeah, mental. Don't say nutty.
Well,
He was born with mental illness and wreaking havoc, you know, over the household and with his family. Now, did he do it out in public or anything like that? I don't know, but the video,
maybe if the father had a history of the same kind of illnesses throughout the timeline, and he could inherit that as well and cause these horrible acts. What was the question you asked me? I get thrown off again. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Something about. I like to divulge more into the story since we talked about it.
How long do you think is too long? If you know about the mental illness, this was really the question. Yes. How long do you think is too long to let it go unnoticed or not able to help or not helping?
If you can, it's more so if the person is willing to be helped. Let's start there, because a lot of them don't even want to be helped, and they know they cuckoo up there, and they don't want to be helped. Now, if those are out there who can't find some kind of mental stability and no insurance or whatever, and they seek out, I think we should try to accommodate them as human beings as much as possible. But some people don't want it. So then where you define the line, and then a story like this, the same person could possibly deny help, didn't want help, shun everybody away, and then committed this hellacious crime. So It just depends.
Well, one thing's for sure is that what I noticed is that maybe around 2007, between 2007 and 2014, a lot of the mental health clinics started to shut down and close. They closed a lot, thus being the uptick in homelessness, people not being able to get insurance and things like that. So a lot of mental illness started coming out everywhere. So you got people that's bipolar, suicidal, schizophrenic, all, and these are all forms of mental illness. With those facilities closing down, a lot of people didn't know what to do, how to do it, where to go, who to talk to, who not to talk to. So they just keep it within themselves, and it just starts to build and build and build. So the least little thing would be a trigger for them, and it will set them off. However, some people, like this young man, did not have triggers. He just was in his own head. And it happened. So my thing is how do you get the help for those people when there's no help to be gotten?
Right. As he's in a deep form of mental psychosis, that far down where you can't even reach to that person on a civil level. Like I said, to your point, they're too far gone. What do you do? There's nothing you really can do.
Right.
You just have to keep watch for them, or I don't know if they have to keep the little bracelet or something on just to be, knowing their whereabouts and where they're at publicly, because this could happen to anyone.
It could happen to anyone. It could happen to anyone, and no one is exempt from mental illness. No. Somebody somewhere, everybody has some form of depression, in any kind of form.
Yeah.
Depression comes whether you know it or not. You're going to have a little bit of depression. I've suffered from depression. After my mom passed, after my daughter passed, after that, I'm like, Lord, what is happening to me? And I didn't know. And my doctor told me, he was like, well, Bernetta, you're depressed. I'm like, I'm laughing and kikiing and ha-ha with everybody. I don't think I'm depressed or anything like that. He said, so let me ask you this. What do you do during the course of a day? I was like, oh, I gave him the Scooby-Doo. Well, today I sat at home in my bed watching TV. I crochet a lot, everybody. I make blankets, so I crochet a lot. So I have yarn everywhere, just spread out all over my bed. So I sleep on this side, and the rest of it is just yarn. Well, my husband ain't with me no more. God took him back in 2020. So it's just a whole. So I guess the yarn compensates for that body being there. He's not there. So I'm crocheting, and I got yarn everywhere, and I got blankets piled up. He said, so you stay in bed, you really don't eat. And when you do eat, you eat what? All sugary treats. So thus being the fact of me gaining 60 pounds in less than 6 months.
Yeah.
I did that. Yeah. I did that. So I got depressed. And this was right before I started going down with the kidney thing. So while I was in the hospital, my doctor was saying, keep an eye on her so that she don't get depressed, this, that, and the third. And I'm sitting here like, I am not depressed. He said, well, what you sitting here crying for? I'm like, you keep telling me I'm depressed. Stop saying I'm depressed.
Right.
So he said, well, I'm going to give you this. And I'm like, I ain't never taking that. I'm not, never.
Well, let me ask you, Dr. B, real quick, let me interject. What did you do if you did feel depressed or wasn't depressed? How did you conquer it? How did you come out of that slump once you might have realized, oh, I could be potentially be depressed? How did you get out of it and go about your day, work, do the things you do with your kids and stuff like that, doing this? How did you, conquer that?
Y'all hear his voice?
Just a little
Y'all
bit.
Hear it?
Come on now. Let me
did was
I'm trying to be serious here now.
No, I am serious. that was serious. So what happened was that I sat down and I had to seriously think about what the doctors were saying. My doctor was saying, I'm like, dude, you are. So I was like, okay, girl, you're gonna have to get up because you tried to get your life. And I said, okay, maybe I am depressed. So I had to get up. I started cleaning up because my house looks a horrible mess. At that point. It's not like that now, y'all. My house was a wreck. I'm looking at my bedroom and I'm like, this is total chaos. That's why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling right now. And with me feeling that way, I noticed that my son started slacking and things like that. And I'm like, well, my son is supposed to be the smart one. Help your mama out of this, No, because he was going through some things himself, not having his dad, my mom gone, his auntie gone, and I'm like, granny gone, great grandma, I'm like, oh my God. So we all went through a little phase of depression. But what did I do? I got up, cleaned myself up, number one. Number two, clean my house up.
Yeah.
Number three, clean my car.
The little things, right?
The little things make a difference. Now, let me just say this. My car was probably the cleanest thing around me because I love my cars. I'm a car girl. I love cars and I love motorcycles. So my car, don't judge.
No.
Don't react.
I like that. Go ahead. Rev it up.
Once I got that together, things started looking better. I never stopped my prayer life. My prayer life was always there. I never stopped going to church. Never stopped singing, never stopped praising, never stopped giving God the glory. However, what I did stop was life. I didn't know it. I'm sitting up watching reruns of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Y'all gonna know I auditioned for that way back in the day. I got through the first round, y'all. She did that.
That's a start.
I was cute too. But anyway,
bring them photos up. Let's see that.
I did a lot, and it just reruns of a Grey's Anatomy, and I'm watching these things, and I'm like, okay, I got to come on up out of this rut. So I got up, I started going and exercising. I started talking to people. I started being more active in the things that I did, when people looked at me, they did not know that I was depressed. I would sit right here at this table when people did not know I was depressed. I didn't know I was depressed until I really, thought about it. So no, I still didn't take the medicine. No, I didn't. Am I okay now? I am okay because I am able to deal with it. I can cope with, things that are going on and not let myself slip back into where if I had done this, and this, maybe my mother would have been here. Maybe my daughter would have done this. I was thinking about preventative things that I could have done to have them still here. The will of God is the will of God.
Right. Some things are inevitable.
Inevitable. So what about now? She's happy, healthy, and terrific.
All right, now wait a minute. Get the eyelashes batting. Wait a minute. Now. You should put them lashes out there. Put them things on camera now.
Make me spit. So my question to you is, and I'm going to pick your brain a little bit, is do you think things will get worse, especially with what's going on in the world today? How we living?
Oh, that's a good one. That's
a deep
really
thing.
Good one.
And I gotta
I gotta say, as of current times, this current decade, I will say it will get worse. Why? Because there's a lot of media and people that are such attention hogs, and they want this 15-second stardom, whether it's the YouTube thing, and not disrespecting this YouTube, nothing like that. But there's some people just need this attention. We out there, we see it on the timeline, some ads or somebody's showing off the backside or the front side, or ain't even in the water, but got a two-piece on. What are you doing, ma'am? Well, sir, and there's a lot of this is going on.
It's a lot.
And wherever this lack of attention or this void people are trying to fill, the hole is gaping wider and wider and wider. And it's going to get to a point where, society is going to become numb if it's not there already. That's just one aspect, not talking about everything else that's going on in the world and other categories and situations. So, yeah, I do think this could be a problem if people are not either coping or have an outlet to release this either tension or depression or this anxiety, whatever is going on. They don't have that. They need to fulfill that. And it's not all the time putting yourself out there, social media, being or alcoholism or whatever their vice is. That's quite not the way to go. Find other ways to go beyond that and try to do better as a people. That's what I can say about that.
I hope and pray that because of where we are in today's life and society and time, that this mental illness doesn't get any worse than where it is right now.
I hope not.
There's a lot going on in the world, and we just need to be ready for what's to come. However, we don't want to overlook that life is still lifing. We don't want to overlook that there is a way to overcome it.
Yeah.
I overcame it.
You did.
But how many people have a will as strong as I have? How many people have a prayer life as strong as I have?
Right.
How many people have people praying for them? Let's just keep it a buck.
And also keep it a buck. Also, just some people just do not want to be helped. I've seen them. I've talked to these people. Some and it's crazy, but you have to actually communicate. And I'm like, shall I really have a conversation with these people? A lot of people don't want to be helped. I've seen it. I heard it myself. At times I would make meals and stuff and just give it away or just pay for meals and stuff like that. Yeah. A lot of people out there that's content to this lifestyle. Now, I don't know if they crazy or we crazy. And I kind of envy them a little bit because they have no rules, no laws, no restrictions, no nothing, right? This is true. And then it's like, we working to achieve or get that promotion, and that car, and they got not a care in the world, not one, which could also be dangerous on either side.
True. So true.
But like I said, they are content with this lifestyle and they don't want to go back. They don't want to work nobody. They don't want to get help. They don't want to live in a shelter. They just want to be just out in the world, almost vagabond level right there. You know what I'm saying? And they're okay with that. And at times as people, we have to accept that. Now, hopefully they're not dangerous to anybody else out here in the world or city.
Let's keep it
but, if they just content of being them, sometimes we got to walk away, take our foot off the pedal and let them be them because they're secure in their mind. This is who I am. This is my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
You said a lot. You really talking some good stuff here.
So
my thing is that we see this everywhere. I've experienced this mental illness in the workplace. I've experienced it in the workplace. And I don't want to really disclose what I do, but in the business that I am in, I work with a lot of people on a daily basis. And with that being said, I see the depression, I see the bipolar, I see the schizophrenia. I even talk to people who are suicidal. However, I do talk to people who are very deeply embedded into their spiritual life, their prayer life, and going to church, my church goers and things like that. But to get back to the mental illness, one of my trainees broke down on me a few weeks ago when I tried to go back to work, and my doctors was like, if you don't sit yourself down, little girl. So I'm back off work. So anybody got a job that I can do from home? Okay. Right. That was my plug.
Right. 1-2-1-2.
This guy, he broke down, and I'm like, what's going on? Someone triggered him. And he just went off. He started flipping chairs and food was all over the place. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. Look at me. Let's focus. I'm like, what happened? And how can I help you be you again? Because this part of you, I don't know this part of you. I want to know the part that I do know. I'll bring that person back so that I could talk to that person so that we don't have to deal with this person right here. And I was like, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath together. We're going to blow it out. We're going to take a deep breath. And I want you to sing the next note that come out. And he just did some kind of weird. I mean, he just did something weird. And I looked at him. I said, you feel better? He said, yeah, because that was funny. And he started laughing.
There you go. Come on, Dr. B.
He just got doctored.
There you go.
So, with that being said, there are certain ways that you have to deal with people with mental illness.
Yes.
My daughter, bipolar, schizophrenic, suicidal. I got to be transparent. It wasn't hard. it wasn't hard to get help for her when she needed the help. What was hard was watching my only daughter go through this. How did she get to that point? Peer pressure at school. Really? Because she didn't look a certain way, she didn't act a certain way, or whatsoever. My kids always went, for yourself, they always had Nikes or Uggs, or what they had, Adidas, I worked my fingers to the bone for my kids. Me, my mom, their dad, my kids had everything.
Was beyond material
but she was something is because the kids would pick on her. You think you all this, all that. So she fell into a depression. And back then all they did was play games. So I'm like, why don't you draw out? And this is where Ma comes in. Why don't you draw out what you feel? And she started drawing. And my daughter is one of the best artists that you could ever know right now. Get into choir. Let's see if you can sing a little bit. Of course she can sing. I taught her how to sing. Yes, my son, he can sing. My kids can sing. They sing better than I do. Sherman can sing. He can. That's hey Sherman. He said we listen but we don't judge. Okay, we listening and not judge. There was a point after they started singing that they got really, really good. And my daughter, she uprooted herself, got married. I got a beautiful granddaughter. She's living in Michigan and she did good. She came out of it. The only way she came out of it was I got her off that medicine.
Good.
I got her off the meds. Sometimes those medicines can harm you more so than they can help you.
Put it
and
out there.
I got my daughter off of those medicines. Is she doing okay now? Yes. Has she had any episodes or anything like that? No, she's living her life. She's doing good.
That's great.
She calls, she talks to me when she needs to talk. Mom, I need prayer. I don't know if today's going to be a good day. Well, how do you know if you haven't gotten out of bed yet? These are the type of things that, I had to deal with, even with raising my granddaughter for the first 4 years of her life until my daughter could really, grip the fact that, hey, I'm somebody's mama. It's another whole person depending on me. So once that clicked in her head, she was like, ding, I got it. No issues, none whatsoever. I call her and I talk with her all the time. Amber, how's it going? What are you doing? How's my grandbaby doing? Things like that. Everything is good. Corey Williams, good evening. Sherman, good evening. To the best niece in the world, Nicole Steele. Mama Coffee, hello, darling. How are you? Lavita.
Up there, right.
Hey there. I see Reverend Morris. Hey there. Hey, Jacqueline. Hey. Some people need medication like a person. What? Yeah, some people do need medication. Yeah, mental illness is really increasing. Yes, it is. Like a person that has diabetes or high blood pressure, some people need medication. Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody can't, thank you, Reverend Morris, can't deal with life without the medication.
That's true.
Yeah, because I have to take diabetes medication since my kidneys messed up. Now I'm diabetic.
Come on.
A whole food.
Right. You know what? What in the world?
I know, right? Yeah. So a lot of stuff happens, mental illness. Jacqueline Mabry, bring that one up. A lot of people deal with this mental illness, and they come through it. They are able to help themselves. They can cope with it. But some people don't know whether they're coming or going.
True. Mental
illness is really not increasing in the world today. They stopped funding for mental illness. They need to find funding so that they can get help. This is true. Jacqueline Mabry, thank you so much, First Lady. Yeah. We do need these institutions to come on back. I see now on Facebook, TikTok, and all these other places where Hargrove, which is a mental illness institution, where they've been molesting the people and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, oh my Lord, my kid was there.
Yeah.
My child was there. Wow. On 3 occasions. Yeah. I'm so glad none of that happened. But again, when you have a prayer life like that, y'all listen. Reverend Morris, Evangelist Cuffy, we need to pay a few bills. Let's get some some commercials going, and we're going to come back and we're going to add a body to the panel tonight to help talk about this mental illness. You know, we got to get this mental illness under control. Without the help of us being advocates for those who have mental illness, there will not be a way to help. We got to get the help that we need for these people so that they can stop the killing, so that they can stop killing themselves, so they can stop the cuttings, so that they can stop the piercings and the tattoos and all that. Let's stop the madness, y'all. Let's get some help.
Even with our veterans.
Even with, oh my God, we have that's on the second part now. You didn't tap into the second part.
I jumped ahead, my bad. Put really okay.
Modern Plumbing and Sewer Company for all of your home and business needs. New construction, remodeling, commercial, residential, free and no obligation estimates. Established since 1970 by proprietor and CEO James E. Williams. Licensed and bonded. Contact them today for your plumbing needs at 773-925-7504. 773-925-7504. They accept Cash App and Zelle.
You know, today we are talking about mental illness in the workplace right now, at home, at play, whatsoever the case may be. You are watching Polos and Pearls with yours truly, Dr. B. Yes, there is a doctor in the house. And of course, the one and only, what's your name is?
Willie James right there. Willie James.
Mr. Willie James. You all listen, because you all requested for him to come back, he is here. So I have to get closer because I'm a little chill. I'm a little cold. You know, y'all, this is one of my longtime friends, you know, and I want to thank you. Thank you so much for coming in and giving your thoughts on this thing with mental illness. Do you think you would have been able to handle if one of your children had mental illness?
Yeah, you know, I think it was an incident that happened with my daughter about 5 years ago, almost around the same time. And she wasn't feeling like herself and just telling me the story and things like that. So, you know, as a dad, I had to open my ears up and listen and make sure like certain events don't happen again. And I think we went out on vacation that year. I started doing like the little girly stuff with her, doing the toes and nails and all that, you know, just to make her feel like she was a teenager at the time, but just to get her confidence up and get back to herself and started enjoying her time in her space and enjoying life and things like that. So I believe it worked out. Some bumps in the road, but you know, I think it worked out overall. So, but just to deflect from it getting deeper into, again, some kind of depression or suicide or whatever these crazy thoughts are, you know, to block that and make sure she's okay. So, one fire put out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to deal with, you know, but I'm glad you saw it. You know, as a parent, you know, you have to step in, step up, and step out to save your children so that they don't have to go through these things.
Yeah. And I'm just glad she was able to just communicate that with me because she could have kept it to herself and it could have got worse and then imploded in her mentally and then she just would have snapped like old boy did we just talked about earlier.
Oh yeah.
Know? So it could have got worse.
So do you think you've ever felt like you fell into a time of depression, a moment of depression, and what did you do to come out of it?
Myself, like you, if I was, I didn't know if I was or not. Myself, I'm always able to, you know, keep calm, keep cool, really assess the situation. I can figure it out right there on the spot. It might take me some days, but I never let something fester too long. Now, sometimes, it might. If I'm pissed, if I'm upset about something, then, you know, I might have to go off here and there. But other than that, before I get my head underwater in that kind of mindset, I always figure out how to get out of it before it gets worse.
Wow.
You know, so.
And have you seen mental illness in your workplace?
I should work with them loony bins all the time.
Oh my goodness! Can we call them loony bins?
Come on. Well, I don't know what else to call them.
Illness.
I know, but they.
I'm gonna have to groom them, y'all. I'm working. He's a work in progress.
Some people get all 5 of these senses, and they just regular people that just just ain't quite wrapped too tight. I'm gonna just put it out there. We seen them. We work with them all the time. It's real life. I know. I told you this. I'll just be a little.
Listen, I told you all. Polos and pearls. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna cry. You're gonna go. Ooh. We're gonna do all of that. It's gonna make you want to jump. It's gonna make you want to shout. It's gonna make you want to punch somebody in their neck because they won't listen to you when you tell them not to say certain things. They call the people loony.
Okay. You said that too.
Finish what you said.
Yeah, okay.
Again, y'all, this is Polos and Pearls. You get what you did. So you all, what I'm going to do now is bring on someone that you are very, very familiar with. And this is my radio sister, my TV sister, and I love her with everything that I have within me. And there is nothing that will stop her from getting the love that she got. You're going to be between 2 amazing women of God. How you feel about that?
No comment.
It can't be no mental illness with that.
No comment.
No mental illness with that. So you all, without further ado, we're going to go to a brief commercial and bring on our next guest. And you will know who she is because she is someone amazing.
Right now.
We'll be right back, y'all.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle. Right. You're in the middle.
I said, how many people got a reason to thank you? Oh, yes. What about you? Oh, what about you? What about you? Oh, what about you? I got so much to thank God for. What about you? Oh, what about you? What about you? Oh, I got so much to thank God for.
Tuning in. Thank you for joining in. Listen, I had to add my sister here with me on Polos and Pearls. I want to thank you for your input. I need you to get on in a little closer.
Oh, there
we are. There we go. Listen,
my happy
Evangelist Cuffy. Hey, sister.
Hey there.
Can you crush on her after the show?
Do what?
Can you crush on her?
I'm not crushing. I'm just saying, there's 2 educated women. I'm right in the middle, trying to call her down the line.
I've been knowing you forever.
You know what? Why are you talking about that right now?
Listen, I want to ask you this, Evangelist Cuffy. Welcome to Polos and Pearls. First and foremost, thank you so much.
Sure.
But I just really want to ask you about this mental illness. Have you seen this mental illness in the church place?
Oh, in the church.
Yes.
It's in the church.
It's everywhere.
It is in
the church. And as of just recently in the last couple weeks, not weeks, but years, I should say, that they're saying that now it's okay for you to have an altar and a couch. It's okay for you to lay it all at the altar. And then the altar is where you lay it. You lay your burdens down, you give it to God there.
And leave them there.
Yeah.
But you also deal with that natural man on the couch with someone helping you to piecemeal, decipher, pull apart, dismantle that trauma. Because it's trauma.
It is trauma.
It is built up, suppressed trauma. Somewhere down the line, either in the bloodline or something traumatic, just a catastrophe, something mind-blowingly just unable to handle and grasp what has handled. You've had a breaking point, a nervous breakdown, and you have lost your way.
Yeah.
Right? You have lost the capacity to cognitively think, to feel emotionally. You don't have some mental illness, you have no emotions. You have no feelings. And your thoughts are racing, so you can't even see what is not. I mean, all the senses are going into each other. It could be all they can see sometimes is words, and they can't even form the words. Or it turns into an anger.
Yes.
Enraged, hostile.
Very.
It can become damaging, malicious, to the point where, you know, that thing, they go and get the bus and they bring the jacket.
Oh, my Lord. Yes.
And take you to where you have to go. Either medication or the counselor or both.
Psych ward.
The psych ward. So one of the things that as a people, especially in the church, we have to, we've got to come to, I always say this, the man in the mirror. We have to deal with the man in the mirror.
Wow.
We have to deal with the fact that we have an issue. We have to, come into the knowing. We have to acknowledge, that's the word. We have to acknowledge that we have an issue.
Oh, yes.
And not just ignore it. We have a problem. We're carrying this thing that is dragging us through the mud, that is dragging us, and we become reckless to ourselves, community, life itself. So even in the church, they have tabourines. Mental illness. They preaching with mental illness, shouting and dancing with mental illness.
Come on, you right.
Teaching our children with mental illness.
My goodness.
Excellent points.
So what would you say to that person who's depressed? And I'm going to come to you next with the same question, Willie. What would you say to that person who's depressed and they know they're depressed? Or even if you don't know you're depressed, what would you say to them?
First, knowing me, I come biblically. Do you know that is in him that you live, move, and have your being?
Period.
That he also, not only did he give us that, but do you know that let this mind be in you, which is also in Christ Jesus? This is his word.
It is his word.
And sometimes people with mental illness don't want to hear the word. They don't want to hear it because the word is the truth.
It's the whole truth.
It's life application. And they don't want to apply what can be helpful to their life. Apply.
apply.
Apply the word.
They're not even in their right mind. So that's why we gotta just shake them with the word. Come on, shake out of it. Let this mind be in you, which is also in Christ Jesus. That we have to have a mind of God. God wasn't crazy. Jesus wasn't nutty. Some of them thought he was,
but he wasn't.
But he wasn't. Not a man who came as, not a spirit who came as flesh and walked the earth to heal, set people free, to deliver. We couldn't. I mean. And people that didn't know him were thinking, "Oh, who is this? Who is this? Who is this?" But they got to know him. They got to know who he was. So, I mean, him with all power, he has given us the tools in order. Yes. So yes, he has given us the word, and he has given us, and just like on my show, if I can say, sing it out for this moment in time. Right before yours, the woman of God talked about that's why God has created doctors. That's why God has created therapists.
Yes, much needed.
The altar and therapist works good hand in hand because the spiritual needs to be, cleansed, but so does the natural man. Need a detox. Right. So it all needs to work together for a building. Look, we got to be productive citizens in the community. In order to do that, we need to use all the tools. And guess what? We have to apply them to our lives. It's just. We've got to get out of being babied. We're no longer being breastfed. We're no longer with a bottle. We're not. We have to understand and come into fruition. They say, girl, it's easier said than done. It's easier said than you ain't been through what I've been through. How about that? That didn't happen to you. That, he didn't do that to you and she didn't do that to you. It happened to me. So how can you tell me? It's easier said than done. But guess what? We are in charge. We make the choice to either live or die where we are.
True.
Just exist.
That's right.
True. We can't just exist.
We can't.
Because that scripture, it's in him that we live and move.
You got to move.
We got to move and have our being.
Get your life.
Get your life.
We've got the 5-minute wrap about a minute ago. What say you?
I don't know how much time we got. I was going to do a story.
Give me 30 seconds.
I ain't got time. Well, I would just say, just in short, my answer to that was just, I'll help those who want to help themselves, because we all have things to do. We all busy in life. If I take the time, not being arrogant about it, to help someone that's in need of mental help, I gotta see you put in the work before I put in the work. Point blank.
Absolutely.
You need the help. You need the work. I'll research. I'll ask whomever that can help assist you, or whatever medicine you may need, things like that. But if you're not putting in the work, don't expect me to either. It's just life.
Wow.
Just being honest.
Wow. My daughter, when she was going through, even when I went through, I will listen to Reverend Milton Bronson, for the good of them, and also things will work out for the good of them who love the Lord, according to what? So you all, I want to thank you for joining us on Polos and Pearls this evening with my guest co-host, Mr. Willie James, and my amazing sister, Evangelist Tanya Cuffey. We could not have done this show without you today. If you know of someone, or if you are dealing with mental illness, I encourage you to go to someone, call someone, talk to someone, to get you to someone who can help you. But first of all, pray for yourself and know the Lord. If you can't pray for yourself, you can always come to WVTC and we will pray with you, for you. Yeah. We have prayer warriors here. Thank you, Mama Cuffey. Thank you, William J. Oh, thank you. Hey, Bishop, how are you? Thank you all for tuning in. Send us some hearts, send us some likes. And we always welcome the shares. You have just been welcomed here on WVTC on Polos and Pearls. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for tuning in. Until this time next week, the doctor wants to bid you a good evening. You have just been Doctor.
Go ahead, not Dr. B.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC radio skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
Views made on the preceding program are not those of WVTC Radio, iNetworks Communications, or their financial supporters.
Winning victory through Christ, WVTC Allsip Chicago, an iNetworks communication station.